I was 100% convinced Scientologist. I knew that Scientology had the answer to the whole universe. I knew that the rest of the world was wrong and was ignorant and was down this seething mass of ignorance and superstition and reactive mind stuff was going on. And that's the state of the world. And the reason there's always wars and there's always famines is because of this reactive mind. And the only hope is Scientology. The only hope. And the goal of, then I learned the goal of Hubbard's goal of clearing the planet, and the idea of is to get, you don't have to get everybody in the planet, you have to get the majority of the planet to the state of clear. And then there'll be no more war, and then there'll be no more crime, you know. And then only clears will be in government, and only clears will be allowed to, you know, be lecturers, and only clears will be allowed to, you know, make any public policy statements, and that will be it, and it will be run on Scientology lines, and the world will be, then the world will have a renaissance, and then the world can go forward. And it's this wonderful, proud idea of this new world order, Scientology style world order. Of course I bought into it, and it was sounding great, but I didn't want anything else. I just wanted Scientology then at that point. You see, I'm completely sold on this. Quite remarkable. Looking back at it, it is quite remarkable. Shortly thereafter, I'm sitting on the reception desk. I'm the director of communications now in the Scientology office. I take calls from America, and this woman on the phone. She says, "What's an Irish person doing in Stuttgart?" Oh, John, blah, blah, whatever else. "Why don't you join the Sea Org?" Okay, well, what's here? Well, the Sea Org is, look, they described this fully dedicated elite core of Scientology, this elite. And you see these pictures of, it shows them pictures of people in these kind of navy uniforms with gold braid and caps and, you know, batons and swords and gold buttons and proud gaze looking into the distant future of the galaxy, you know, this kind of stuff. And you get the idea, and then you kind of get the idea, well, the Sea organization is actually a whole track organization. Whole track is an idea that's constantly reinforced all the time in Scientology. Whole track, because you're not a one lifetime being. Only the ignorant, normal humans, lower humans think that you're a one-life human being. The whole track is that you've lived through millions of lifetimes. You have a desire in all these lifetimes to try and, you know, fight these evil dark forces, mysterious dark forces. So, in recruiting me, you know, you know, the person who says, look, you join the Sea Org, and it's a fully dedicated thing. It's all you do. Everything is looked after. You know, you don't have to worry about going shopping, or you know, and you can fully dedicate yourself to clearing the planet. And it's the only way the planet will be cleared is through the Sea organization, because they're the only people who are, you know, dedicated enough and clean enough and clear enough to be able to drive it forward. And so you got this mysterious organization that doesn't operate on the front lines. It operates away from cities and away from the population in general. It's supposed to operate on ships, actually. It's supposed to operate on ships, and then sending orders to places like Stuttgart, London, New York, you know, the little opera offices all over the world. And that the actual offices don't have any independence whatsoever. Everything they do is exactly dedicated, exactly defined and directed by the Sea organization. But, you know, so you get this picture of, okay, good, so this staff member, and you're still struggling with day-to-day problems, but you're more dedicated, you're able to devote more time to the goal of clearing the planet. But the Sea organization, you can completely dedicate yourself, completely. And because all the day-to-day concerns are looked after, you can just 100% focus on your task in clearing the planet. Sounds great, sounds exciting, and I'll be living and working in America. Well, it sounds great, fine, because I kind of liked America before. And okay, I was always up for something new. I joined the Sea organization. I find myself, I land in Los Angeles, and I find myself after an hour or so taxi ride from LAX up in this huge blue building, massive thing, an old hospital, you know, and it's just, I don't know how many city blocks it is, but it's a big lump of a thing. It's daunting. It's kind of, what is it, like Batman's, what is it, Gotham City look to it, just old 1920s, huge structure. And it's very daunting looking, and I'm like, well, what is this thing? And of course I learned that this is the complex Hubbard, the Sea Org base of operations at that time, the main management base of operations, not just for America, but for the world. I have to do the entrance program, which is what's called the EPF, which is equivalent to a boot camp. Yeah? And of course, as you can imagine, there's an awful lot more of this indoctrination, where you're learning all about the Sea Organization now, and there's not a lot of TRs as well, these control things, and you know, we're actually, it's just like a boot camp where there's lots of military type formation, marching, you're learning terms of address, and you have to address everybody as sir, and you have to salute, of course, and you're very military. And you don't, and you learn not to ask questions. It's very important that you don't ask questions. It's just yes, sir. You know, you take the task and you just do it, right? You don't get involved in being involved in the questioning or the anything. And so you're learning this stuff. And very, very, you know, this new type of subservience that you're beginning to learn, you know. It's a very intense program, and it goes on non-stop, you know, when you're working, you know, with a small group of people. You know, there's no such thing as like going off and going shopping. There's no such thing as going off and going sitting around a cafe. Oh, no. This is intense. You know, you're up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then you run from 7 o'clock in the morning right through till about maybe 11 o'clock at night when you're lights out and sleep, you know. And this went on for 3 months for me, and in there I learned about the brigade, this kind of time traveling military unit, which was again soldiers of light, you know, and that really, he doesn't say directly, but he implies, this is Hubbard's tapes, implies that the Sea Organization is the Earth incarnation of that Galactic Brigade. So we, soldiers of light, have come back this lifetime on Earth and found the Sea Organization. You see an idea of, you get the idea of that you're reassembling. You get the idea of that, you see, because you're a spiritual being with awareness, you've actually been looking for, or you've got an antenna out for Hubbard. So all your lifetimes you've been looking for Hubbard since the psychiatrist last destroyed the last effort. You see, your bond is weird, wild stuff, you know, and you know, you're not told at that point what happened, but you know that 75 million years ago there was a catastrophe. That's what you know. And then as part of this thing, this force had set up implant stations in order to keep the human beings tied to Earth and tied to their body, and keep them weaker so that they would not rise up against this force, this galactic force of some kind. You don't know who they are, you just know they're a galactic force. I think he calls it the fifth Beta Force or something, I don't know. The dead station on Mars, you know, and you know, and that when you die, you know, your body dies, and you are trained to go to this implant station, and then all this reinforcing of Earth is pumped into your disembodied brain. And then you're sent to a hospital and you pick up a baby's body and start again. That's what you're taught, you know.